Yo, 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 yo!
Welcome to Comic Convo Express.
Welcome.
We have a few announcements.
Well, first of all, welcome to the Comic Convo Express. I'm Pedro, the Marvel fanboy himself, and this is...
My name is Tom. Welcome to Comic Convo Express. He caught me off guard.
We are live on twitch.tv/PevGamer. And here's our few announcements we got to make. You can check us out on our YouTube channel at youtube.com/Comic Convo Express. Hit the like and subscribe. Keep support. We love you guys. You can also check us out on our Patreon. Go to the patreon.com/Comic Convo Express. No spaces. Join now for as low as $4 a month. You will get early access, behind the scenes content, cool Comic Convo Express merchandise, and artwork from our own Tommy. You can also help us pick topics for future episodes for the next season. With you and the fans will get credit for those episodes.
Yes, they do.
And you can also check us out as our new show, The After Hour, where the gloves are off. It's uncensored and uncut.
Wonder what happens there.
Oh no! Check them out. Well,
gotta check us out.
What did he say?
It's where the script is thrown out the window. And the Comic Convo is just uncensored. The After Hours exclusively. It's on the Patreon, so sign up for it.
As low as $4.
$4, man. That's all it takes. Comic Convo Express is brought to you by W Energy Drink. Go to w.gg.
Get your dub on.
Use your promotional code PevGamer, all caps, for 10% off your entire order. You know, everything you buy, 10%. It helps, and it's good for you. It'll keep you up and energized.
Yep, it comes with a coffee extract too.
That's right,
made from coffee extract,
and it has perfect ingredients.
And it tastes delicious.
Oh heck yeah, better than all the other stuff that comes out.
The other thing that starts with a P.
So get your dub on.
Ends with 8.
And we also like you to visit streamlab.com/PevGamer/merch for our Comic Convo Express and Pev Gamer merchandise.
Get that Pev Gamer
Come
merch.
check it out.
Get that merch, baby.
Get the merch. And they even got the new Comic Convo Express
really
hat.
Nice hat.
I'll be sporting that very soon, so you'll be checking it out. I might be jelly for it. So Pev Gamer, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good, guys. How are you guys doing? Good. We're going to get right into the episode. So today's episode is our 9th episode, which is our second to last for season 1. But don't worry, guys. We're going to be returning in October for season 2. We just need some time to do some workshop and kind of figure out where the direction of season 2 is going to go. Quick announcement as well. The $14.99 membership on patreon.com/Comic Convo Express does allow you to basically tell us what episodes you guys want to see. Give us a subject. We'll write an episode for it. The cutoff to season 2's entries will be the second week of September. So just keep that in mind. Second week of September. If you want to see an episode written by you for season 2, just keep that in mind, please. So our 9th episode is actually a spotlight for comic creator Alan Moore. So we're going to get right into it. So segment 1. What was more impactful to the USA public? V for Vendetta or Watchmen? Tommy, I'm going to let you start this one off.
Sweet. Welcome, guys. Both V for Vendetta and Watchmen are highly influential and groundbreaking works in the comic book medium, but their impact can be measured in different ways. V for Vendetta, 1982 to 1985, written by Alan Moore, art by Dave Lloyd. First published in 1982 to 85, later reprinted in a 1-volume DC Vertigo book from 1988 to 89. Popularized as an anti-hero archetype, influenced the dystopia genre of comics and beyond. Introduced the concept of a complex, morally ambiguous protagonist, explored themes of government control, arcanism, and a personal freedom. Legacy inspired numerous adaptations, including a 2005 movie. Influenced creators like Neil Gaiman, Grant Morrison, and Warren Ellis. Watchmen, written also by Alan Moore. Beautiful art by Dave Gibson, I gotta tell you. First published in 1986 to 87 by DC Comics, collected edition in 1987 in a single volume. The impact, deconstruction of superhero genre, challenging traditional notion of heroism, introduced a more realistic nuisance approach to superheroes, explored mature themes like morality, mortality, and human condition, redefined the medium potential for complex storytelling and literally depth. Legacy, widely regarded as one of the greatest comics of all time, influenced the superhero genre as a whole, including mainstream comics and the films, inspired creators like Frank Miller, Brian Michael Bendis, and Ed Brubaker. While both works are significant, Watchmen is often considered as more impactful due to its broader influence of superhero genre, more nuisance, complex storytelling.
Someone tried to shoot the world's smartest man today, Moloch. Guy worked for Pyramid Transnational. More than just a delivery service, I take it. Last time I was here, I saw a pension check written from the same company. I'm guessing it's a front set up by whoever wants us masks dead. Now, no more lies, Moloch. Who runs Pyramid?
Greater and cultural significance, wider recognition of acclaim within outside comic book community. So that's pretty much it in a nutshell. Me personally, I love the Watchmen. They all had, they had heroes, not necessarily superheroes. Pretty much the main superhero was Martian Manhunter. He
Dr.
had all
Manhattan.
Dr. Manhattan.
Sorry, they were one and the same at one point.
Yeah,
We'll get to that.
He had all these powers, but he didn't happen to have a pair of pants or a pair of underwear.
I know. Too much slung.
So what do you think, Pete? What is your...
Well, I picked to answer
Real quick before you go, Redwood says he loves your shirt, by the way.
Thank you. Represent.
Nice.
Even though it's an Alan Moore episode, I'm still a Marvel fanboy. So
Shit! Redwood says he loves yours too. He said, "OMG, I love both of these shirts."
Thanks, brother.
And we love the movie, by the
Welcome
way.
to the show. We like having you here, Red.
Yep, we've got
You man.
Redwood, we've got Rayan, and we got Fang all saying hello to you guys.
Bang, there you go.
Welcome,
How you doing,
welcome.
guys?
All right, I'm sorry. Go ahead. What's more impactful for you, Peyton?
So what was more impactful in the U? Because V Vendetta is an awesome movie. It's an awesome book. It just the conspiracy that was going on was very heavily happening over in England in the New Britain area. Mm-hmm. So it was
New Britain's in Connecticut. Try again.
Old Britain. Sorry. Oh my God, I said New Britain.
It's
Old
okay.
Britain.
It's
Sorry,
okay.
guys.
Okay.
Represent. We're all one. But it was everything was happening over there, and they can relate to that. It's understandable how they were trying to be impressed by media and all that stuff. But over here, you're talking about the 80s at the time.
Yep.
We were all afraid of what was going on with Russia and
The nukes.
the nuke war that
Yep.
was going on. And everybody was all paranoid about that. And Alan Moore came out the right time using that with the superhero genre, what was going on, and made it more realistic. And it was like, it gave us another reason to be scared if we lived in that world with the superheroes and how crazy we were and what they were going through.
Boys, hydrate. Fang, redeem,
Oh,
hydrate.
thank you.
Oh.
I need my dub, man.
Get
I
your
need
dub
my
on.
dub.
Oh, Redwood also redeemed, so drink again.
Oh, we're just going to keep drinking.
Gonna have to
episode
pee
drinking.
Not
Cheers.
to sound gay, but I just swallowed an ice.
Oh,
What did he say?
What the hell?
The heck?
pause. That's a pause.
That was a very big pause.
That's a
Anyway,
pause.
so Watchmen hit us at home just like V for Vendetta hit you guys at home in Britain.
Sorry, Ryan also. Rayan, I'm sorry. Rayan says he loves your hat.
Oh,
Represent.
That was another hydrate.
I gotta go pee.
Jesus Christ.
But I just like I said, it's like it depends on where you're from and where you go through. And in the 80s, we would
I
go
wish you
through.
guys could see this fucking chat right now. Redwood goes AO, hashtag homo Pedro, trending on Twitter.
Oh my god.
Hey, when in Rome.
That's what I get for putting ice in my dubby. Sorry. Don't need the dice.
Pause.
Anyway, okay, pause. All right, so I'm going to say this right now. Bottom line, Watchmen affected us in the 80s. I mean, look at it now. We look back on it. It's a good story. It was a great story. But back then, it just...
He said no pause.
What's going on
He
over
said no
here?
pause.
Hashtag any hole is a goal.
Hole is gold.
Any hole is a goal.
That's good.
We're never gonna get past this fucking segment.
He needs a dub. He needs a dub. That was awesome.
You take a drink. You
take a drink. Hydrate.
You need to hydrate.
That was awesome.
Just making it so much worse.
Uh-oh.
What's going on now?
Fang just said you're making it so much worse.
Jesus Christ. You keep adding gas to the fire.
I'm just gonna say Watchmen.
He's like, hey, the fire.
There you go, watch it. Alright, so you guys agree.
So we're in agreement on it. So there you go.
He said, hey, here, look, a fire, gas.
Hey, you know what? One more ice. I mean, dub.
No more ice. Go to commercial.
That's why, darling, it's incredible that someone so unforgettable thinks.
But yeah, the answer is Watchmen, hands down. So there you go.
That's good. Alright.
Good stuff.
You guys are awesome.
Good stuff.
Oh my god, everybody cracks me up. Alright, so second segment is a top three. Top three. So I want Alan Moore DC Universe books. Now, just for clarification, these are not necessarily books that were written by Alan Moore and published under DC Comics. These specifically have to be Alan Moore DC comic books within the DC continuity. So both Watchmen and V for Vendetta would not count. However, I would include the Doomsday Clock, for instance. All right, I'm going to throw this off to... Who wants to go first on this one?
I don't think Alan Moore did that.
You could take the ball.
You want to take the ball?
Yeah, I'll follow.
All right. Okay, I'm going to go top three. We'll start three up, right? Okay, so we'll do it that way.
That's fucking crazy. Redwood said Pedro's gone more red than a kinky person's ass.
Oh, what? What? I feel the love now, man.
He's a Human Torch. Flame on.
He said, oh, look at him watch.
Well, you know, it is summertime. Just
Flame
give me a
on.
heads up. The air
Hey,
conditioner
what's the
is not
temperature
kicking
here?
in.
69.
I'm on fire.
Hey, it's 69 in this house.
It's
What are you
69
talking about?
all day, baby.
Pause.
That's for after hours.
That's for
guys.
the after
Join us on
hours.
Patreon.
So, all right, I'm going to go with number 3, Superman Annual 11, The Man Who Has Everything, Alan Moore with
great choice,
Dave
man.
Gibbon. And introduced the Black Mercy, which is the plant-like organism that was attached onto Superman. It symbiotically hallucinated him, made him picture the world where everything he always wanted came true.
That was great.
Mongo obviously was the villain on it, was behind it. Wonder Woman, Batman, Robin guest starred on it. It was Alan Moore's, like to me, it's like his pivotal point on DC. And, you know, it just sad that it was just, that out of all the books that he did in DC, that one
Such a
stuck
great
to me.
story.
It
They
was
made
such
the
a great
anime on
story.
that also, remember?
Exactly.
Yeah.
They even adapted in the cartoon as well. Number 2, I put in Batman: The Killing Joke by Alan Moore and Brian Bollard. It was an amazing story.
Good choice, brother.
We were talking about this before the show came on. It was the origin of the Joker, the legal origin. And he just showed where he, at one point, had a really bad day and it drove him insane and became the Joker. He tortured Commissioner Gordon and actually shot and paralyzed Barbara Gordon, a.k.a. Batgirl. And yes, that was the outfit he was wearing when he did it. He looked like he was on vacation, but... And the hat was a little different.
He was in Florida. You know?
He must have had a DC shirt, but he had that gun that paralyzed him, and he was wearing shorts like he just came back from vacation. It also, in continuity, made Barbara Gordon and Batgirl retire and become Oracle from Birds of Prey.
Yep.
And good thing she came back. But anyway, and there was a little controversy about that. We'll talk about that in a bit.
Is that a gun or are you happy to see me?
Hi, happy to see you. Pause. Anyway, so that was my number 2. And my number 1, and you guys are going to be so happy to hear this. Ready? Roll. The League of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
Oh,
okay.
nice.
Alan Moore and artist Kevin O'Neill did the book. I remember there was 3 volumes. There might have been 3 more, but I'm not sure if they were reprinted or
remember
not.
I saw the collective
It was the
version.
Black Dossier, Century, and the first volume.
Those were great. Good
It
choice,
was.
brother.
He used characters from the Victorian adventure sagas at the time. We're talking about like H.R. Rider, Haggard, Alan Quatermain, Jules Verne, Captain Nemo, H.G. Wells, Invisible Man,
That was dope.
Robert Louis Stevenson, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, Bram Stoker's Dracula. They used the character Wilhelmina Murray, she was also in that movie in the storyline.
Yo, Redwood is coming for your soul. He just said, of course, Pedro was talking about gentlemen after hashtag Homo Pedro trends on Twitter.
Wow.
Someone get your boy from Liverpool.
He's on fire.
He's on fire. Did I offend you? If I did, I apologize.
Man.
Whether it's about Britain with V for Vendetta or maybe the homo thing. Pause.
Sorry, man.
Sorry about that, but we love you though. We love you. I don't know what I did.
Across the pond,
but
man.
keep bringing it though.
Yeah.
So
Good thanks, and you're red again.
I'm ready. It's hot in here. That's why summertime. Over here in the States, it's just super hot. So anyway, now somebody play music. So anyway, Sherlock Holmes series, they had Professor Moriarty as a villain in there. The Martians from the War of the Worlds. I mean, this is like a world that was just crossing over together, and Alan Moore made it work out for that series. I know they made a movie adaptation to it, and
I thought the movie was pretty good. I mean,
It
I'm
was
a Sean
different.
Connery fan, so I enjoyed it.
I like Sean Connery, but I think the movie itself was way different from the book.
It was,
so I was like not very happy about the movie. But the book, it made me get the book, and it made me like, oh, I appreciate the book way better than that. And I wish they did it the right way. But that's my top 3. And hands up, and now I can get my normal color back on time. It's all you.
Oh, well, I mean, hey, listen. Now hashtag Red Pedro is trending on Instagram. And Redwood said, no, you didn't offend me. I just like being funny.
Oh, well, he's good. He's good. We got mad love for you, man.
Hashtag tomato. Pedro's a tomato.
I'm a tomato.
All right, guys.
What is this show?
I don't know, man.
Guys, I got no true order. I'm just going to say them how I see them. I got Miracle Man by Alan Moore. Comic book series Miracle Man, originally published as Marvel Man in the UK.
Yes.
Issues 1 through 16 from 1982 to 89, plus variant specials and spin-offs written by Alan Moore, art by Gary Leach, art by Alan Davis. Alan Moore's run on Miracle Man is a sentinel work in a deconstruction of a superhero genre, exploring themes of power, identity, and nature of reality. It's considered a classic medium and has a significant influence and development in comic book storytelling. Due to copyright issues, the series was originally published in the UK as Marvel Man, but was later rebranded as Miracle Man for international release. My second one is The Swamp Thing by Alan Moore.
Swamp Thing.
Comic book series, volume 2, issues 20 to 58, annual number 2.
That's right.
Between the years 84 and 87, written by Alan Moore, art by Stephen Bassett and John Tobin. Alan Moore's run on Swamp Thing is widely acclaimed for its unique blend of horror, ecology, that's how you say it, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Ecology and mythology, and considered a classic in the comics.
You're looking up butts now? What is happening? I'm just kidding.
You're next.
What the butt? My number one, well, not number one, but in this order it came out. Promethea by Alan Moore.
Oh.
Here's a comic detail. Comic book Promethea was had issues 1 to 32, which ran from 1999 to 2005. Written by Alan Moore, art by J.W. Williams III. Published by ABC Comics, which is America's Best Comics. Promethea is critically acclaimed series that explores the intersection of magic, mythology, and storytelling. Following the journey of Sophia Banks, as she becomes the latest incarnation of the powerful heroine Promethea. Note, the series was published in 32 issues plus a few specials and spin-offs, and considers as one of Alan Moore's most ambiguous and innovative works.
Wow.
So that's my takes, guys, on that. My top 3. Yep.
Actually,
What's up?
just before we move on to this, Pedro, I believe before we started the show, you were talking about Alan Moore's work in Marvel. Do you have actually anything you could talk to about that?
Yeah, I wrote it down for later, but I'll explain it. He originally worked at Marvel's UK division. He was working under a book called 2000 AD, Warrior, and then eventually jumped on a series of Captain Britain
Warrior
with Alan
come on
Davis.
and play.
And out of the 3 books, the last book he did was Captain Marvel and Britain. He didn't like the series, so he ended up getting off it and went right to DC Comics after that.
Okay.
But he I don't know if he had any problems with anything with Marvel UK. After he left, eventually the division shut down.
How long was he in the UK writing over there?
He was doing it for at least a year.
A year,
At least
okay.
a year. Was between all 3 titles.
Okay.
So, and then he just jumped ship. You know, at first those characters wasn't part of the main Marvel storyline. Eventually, you know, they blended in, and Captain Marvel was already in there and just was brought over to that storyline.
Oh, cool.
So it was interesting, but then since then he hasn't did anything Marvel, and I was a little concerned about that because you know when he was at DC, he had controversy. We'll get into that as well. But he never had any that bad controversy, other than the fact that he thought maybe we were the corporate glamourette for his comic books, so he didn't want to go there, and that was fine and dandy. Mm-hmm. But he did Miracle Man, and I think when Marvel sued about Marvel Man, and maybe he took it personal there, maybe that was the reason why.
Right, got upset.
But then flashback almost 20 years later, 30 years later, Joe Quesada, at the time editor-in-chief of Marvel, reached out to him when they ended up with the rights of Marvel Man, Miracle Man.
Yes.
But they had to get permission from Alan Moore and Neil Gaiman to see if they could reprint the series, just to let everybody know that this is an old character that might become making a comeback into Marvel.
It's actually a really good character.
It's a good character.
I read a lot.
And I remember reading the Marvel Man limited series. I mean the trades that came out way back in the 50s and 60s, and it was pretty good. It had potential. It reminded me like Captain Marvel from DC. Mm-hmm. And then I heard stories about the Miracle Man storyline, and it was a pause as to when that book was coming out. Meanwhile, Joe Quesada went all the way to England, to London, and he ended up meeting up with Alan Moore, and he was trying to get permission. And I guess he was smoothing it over with him, and it convinced Alan Moore to allow him to reprint the Miracle copy, but he would have one request. And I think there's a lot of requests he does to this day is we're not allowed to use his name. So I guess one of his nicknames that he used was just the writer. So Marvel, appreciate it, and I remember getting the trade, and I saw it. They didn't put Alan Moore; they just put the writer. So it was what? Go ahead. What's going on? Ding ding ding.
Brian just said I used to get high with Alan Moore back in the '60s.
Nice. We just said that with the Beatles too, right?
It's kind of the Beatles, Stones.
They were Stones.
They were called Rolling Stones.
They were Rolling the Stones.
Oh,
right?
I'm just to let you guys know right now in the chat there is this whole debate about everybody asking Pedro to imitate the Huck 2 girl.
Oh, the Hawk Tour.
But I've already told them. Someone has to donate money for that.
Yeah. I could have did it when I was choking on the ice earlier. I would have been fine, but
Oh, you gotta give him that Huck Tour and spit on that thing. You get me?
Lord, forgive them
my
for
wife
not know what they do.
Woo! Anyway, wow, this is getting really R-rated.
Let me ask you this real quick. Alan Moore didn't write anything else other like say the main Marvel books, like any Avengers.
No Spider-Man, no
I
X-Men.
tried to do research to see if he did anything. I couldn't find anything
Captain
other than
Britain.
the UK stuff.
Captain Britain was probably the closest one. Miracle Man was already outside of. He wasn't owned by Marvel at the time either.
Yeah.
And
so
if I'm
that
not
was the
mistaken,
closest.
the one story he worked on for Captain Britain was retconned later on, wasn't it?
Retcon, yeah.
It was no longer part of the mainstream.
It wasn't part of the mainstream.
Yeah,
no,
I remember that.
You're right.
Yeah.
And then, what was I going to say? So he did do Miracle Man. He gave him permission. His name isn't attached to it. Mm-hmm. The idea was to catch us up to date what was going on with Miracle Man, Marvel Man.
Aw, guys. Rayan said, these guys are
go.
so funny as much as they look badass.
Oh, thanks. I like being badass. Oh, shit.
No, nothing asked, Pedro.
No ass. No ass.
Move on.
Pause.
Hashtag ass man.
But thank you. Appreciate
Steve is
that.
having way too much fun today. It's great.
That's awesome. That's
I'm glad you're talking, man. That's great.
That's why I
I'm
love.
really happy.
Keep
Thanks,
it coming.
Yeah.
We love it.
No, keep it coming. No.
Pause.
No coming. Oh, Jesus Christ.
Just bring it. That's all.
Hashtag.
Not even. You know what?
Hashtag Pedro likes a badass.
Here we go. Tomato face now. Oh my God.
Oh, Fang wants to know. Pedro, are you an ass man?
Ass man.
Ass or tits?
Leg man?
God, this is not going to be a child
Come on,
friendly
dude, come
episode.
on.
I'm afraid to answer the question because it is your mother we're talking about.
Oh, that's weird as hell. No. Nah, do it for the fans.
Do it for the
It's
fans.
for the people. It's for the people. Do it for the people.
Wow, that's a good question.
Come on, man. We got
Because it kind of like a package deal. I'll go with ass man.
Yeah!
Oh my god. So anyway, what were we talking about? I even lost the question.
It's all good, man.
Okay, so bottom line is he never did Marvel after that, and
It'd be nice
it's
to see
sad.
him do something in Marvel.
But Miracle Man eventually will come back into Marvel, I'm hearing, but he won't have nothing to do with it. So
Sweet.
there you go.
Sweet home intro.
Let's go next segment.
All right, bet. All right, gentlemen. So we're going to go on to segment 3. What is the best Alan Moore story adapted to TV/movie? Please only pick one and give us a reason why. I'm going to let... Which one of you guys want to start this? I'm going to let you guys
I'll
pick.
take the ball.
All right, Tommy's going to go first.
All right, guys. To me, the best Alan Moore adaptation to TV from movies, 2005 film V for Vendetta.
But I dedicate this concerto in honor of the holiday she seems to have taken from these parts, and in recognition of the impostor that stands in her stead. Tell me, do you know what day it is, Evie?
November the 4th.
Not anymore. Remember the 5th of November, the gunpowder, treason, and plot. I know of no reason why the gunpowder treason should ever be forgot.
I'm so sorry. Hashtag Pedro likes a good ass. Hashtag W for Pedro.
W.
It's a win, baby. It's a win.
The win.
It's a win for you, baby.
I love it.
Directed by James Teague, produced by Joel Silver, and the Wachowski brothers. Here's why. Faithfulness to the source material. The film stays true to Moore's graphic novel, capturing its essence, themes, and characters. Strong performances by Hugo Weaving, which is V, or aka V for Vendetta, and Natalie Portman, Evie, delivering outstanding performances, bringing depth and nuisance to the character. Timely and timeless, the film's themes of government control, surveillance, rebellion resonate with audience in the 2005 and remains relevant today. Virtually stunning, the film's blend of action, drama, social commentary, and complemented by its striking visual costumes and production design. This was a top-notch production movie. I really enjoyed it.
I enjoyed it too.
Cultural impact. V for Vendetta has become a cultural touchstone, inspiring countries, references, parties, and influences of other work of fiction. Moore's original graphic novel was a powerhouse exploration of politics, power, and resistance. The film abduction success. Okay, let's try to speak. Successfully translates.
Say it in your own words. What would you say the best part is about the V for Vendetta adaptation?
It's pretty much from the book to the show to the movie.
Like panel for panel, right?
Well, pretty
Panel for panel.
damn near close.
Like
Pretty damn near
it's
close.
like they took the book and they made it. They just had it as a script. They said, "Okay, do it just like in the book," and that's exactly what they did. All they did was put the camera in the right spots.
Rayan is curious. He said, did Alan Moore call people who read comic books man-children and
Yes.
Yeah, he
Yes,
kind of really
he did.
doesn't like the fact that people call books graphic novels for some reason. And also, he's really pissed at DC because they kind of screwed him over. They kind of screwed him over because when he was writing Watchmen, him and Dave Gibson, they told him straight up, they said, listen, you guys create this characters or this storyline, and once it's out of production, out of print, you guys, it will double back to you guys, and you guys get to keep all the profit, and you guys can do whatever you want with it, all your royalties.
Yeah, hashtag Tommy got all the facts trending on Twitter!
That's a W!
Thanks. At least I'm not red. Well, anyway, it's all good.
Hashtag red right here. Tomato.
Hashtag tomato. Well, anyway, Watchmen. Back to what was I was
The
talking
V for
about?
Vendetta.
Oh, I'm sorry.
V for
Yeah,
Vendetta, yeah.
Back to V for Vendetta.
And he
Was
dropped
it
the ball.
V for
Yeah, it
Vendetta?
was. 'Cause
Yeah, that's what you were talking about.
DC. Basically, Alan Moore was just really upset with them because this book never gets out of print and it's always
Watchmen.
printed.
Yes, you were talking
Watchmen.
about Watchmen.
Basically,
Watchmen. You were right.
It's always into print because every year it comes out printed.
Yeah.
There's always a print.
As
And
soon as-
unfortunately, the money, everything will not go back to Morris. So Morris pissed, and he's like, DC, we're done.
Because he's trying to get he's trying to revert it back to his control, and they're not letting it.
Yeah, explain how that works. What was the original deal
The
with
deal
Alan Moore
was,
and DC?
If you do this book or storyline, once it goes out of print, it will default back to you, Alan Moore and Dave Gibson.
Yes.
But unfortunately,
Without DC's involvement, correct?
nothing. No.
Okay.
It will never cross over into
No,
a DC book,
nothing.
things like that.
Yeah,
Right.
but unfortunately, DC keeps reprinting this book every year.
Every year.
So it will never go out of print, and it will never default back to them.
So,
Which sucks because that pissed Alan Moore. He's like, you know what? I'm never doing a DC project ever again.
and he also, because he's so bitter about it, if they had this storyline idea like Doomsday Clock.
Yeah.
They wanted to cross over DC, and they wouldn't let him.
Which, I'm just going to put it out there. That version of Watchmen that's on the table, that is the, I believe, first or second print?
This was the ninth print.
Guess what?
What?
This is the 20th print.
Wow.
That's
look
how
at
many
that.
prints. You know,
Every year it comes out.
it just
again.
keeps coming out.
Moore's
You might see it in your bookstore.
Moore's just pissed.
And Moore's just not getting sent. You know, I mean, he's getting. They keep offering the money for him to make money off of it.
He actually tells, give it to Gibson.
Give it to the artist.
Give it to Gibson. I'm good. To tell him, all I want is a thank you. And Gibson even wrote him or text him, say, listen, thank you.
But you know, I mean, that's his reasoning. But and it's fine. You know. When I first heard that story, I was like feeling bad. I was like, you know what, Alan Moore's right. You know all this stuff. But it's so weird over the years. Like I had a list, and I was gonna wait to segment 4 on this.
You still can if you want. I think we've kind of gotten the.
We got some time.
the
Oh, yeah,
point, right?
I'll give it to you. When he was at DC, he did V for Vendetta under Quality Communications as well as Miracle Man. Then he went to DC. He did the Saga of the Swamp Thing, Hellblazer. If you know John Constantine, you know that. Vigilante, Superman, the Man Who Has Everything, Superman, Whatever Happened to the Man of Tomorrow, Watchmen, and Batman: The Killing Joke. And then he left under bad terms after what happened with Watchmen.
It's very sour.
And as well as Batman, The Killing Joke, because he didn't want that storyline to be part of DC continuity. He wanted it to be a separate, for his own masterpiece.
entity, yeah.
And it was so good to DC decided to, like, when Barbara Gordon got shot, they followed it up with her. She became Oracle, and they made that as part of continuity. He was pissed off. He left. He left DC, didn't want to go back. He was independent for a while, and then he went to Image. Now, he wouldn't go to Marvel, he wouldn't go to DC. He was talking about how they're all corporate and they always lie and
Jim
everything.
Lee called him up and said, hey, buddy, come over.
And he went to Image. Image was the number 3, could have been 2 or 1, however you want to look at it, but they were the third biggest corporate that was coming out. So he jumps on Spawn. He did 1963. He did The Violator. He did the Spawn Blood Feud. Violator and Bad Rock crossover. He did a couple
gentlemen,
of...
hydrate. while you're
Hydrate,
talking.
thank you.
Yep. You would thank Redwood for that one.
Thank you, Redwood.
Thank you, Redwood.
It's all good because it's Redwood.
Still got the ice.
No.
But it's on the
no.
tongue. Haha.
Show him the tongue. Hashtag tongue. No.
Hey, I'm talented. Haha.
What the fuck?
Pause.
You can multitask. Oh my god.
Well, you know, the ladies like it. Anyway,
I'm mad at
so as I continue, there you go. He did a few issues of Wildcats, if you know that from Image. Supreme was his best run. I'm just going to call it. That was his best run. He also did Glory and a couple of issues of Youngblood.
Didn't he do a Spawn?
He did Spawn. I said that earlier.
Angelica?
Angelica, yes. I think no, that was Neil Gaiman.
Okay, I'm my bad.
So anyway, those were his Image titles, and as he left there, ended up working with Jim Lee and Wildstorm. He trashed these Image. He dissed everybody, all the artists that was working there that took control. They're like McFarlane, Lee,
Really?
them. He trashed everybody with the exception of Jim Lee and Jim Valentino. He said those two guys were a man of their words, and he loved working with them. But everybody else, he said they were childish, they were not organized. Like, he literally trashed the hell out of them. But he stayed with Jim Lee and Wildstorm. And Jim Lee helped them form, he helped them join Image, well, not in a way, Image, Wildstorm, with America's Best Comics.
ABC.
And he promised them, while he was on this comic book part of Wildstorm, that anything he does will not be touched by Image, by Wildstorm, by everything. Well, as soon as he started writing stories for him, Wildstorm got bought by DC Comics,
Oh, geez.
which meant he was going with it, because, Wildstorm created ABCs, and ABC had to go with it. Well, they assured him DC wasn't going to get involved. So he ends up doing League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. He did Tom Strong, Top 10, and Promethea under the old ABC line.
Great story.
And then he found reasons to trash the ABC line, and he was trying to get out. He was something to do with the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. He just wanted to get out. He said that DC is getting involved again. They're doing the whole thing with the Watchmen again, and was pissed off at some movie adaptations. Like, he was not happy with V for Vendetta. He wasn't happy with...
That was such a good movie.
It was a good movie, and he didn't want nothing to do with it.
That was good.
From Hell was his first biggest movie disappointment. And I'll relate to that on that, because it wasn't like the book.
I'm not gonna lie, that book is pretty graphic.
It was very graphic.
Very
And
deep.
all they did was PG-13 it, even though it was rated R, and he was not happy of it.
Should've made it R.
So I think after League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, it was his final straw, and it just like trickled affect everything with Wildstorm.
The camel's back.
And he went to Top Shelf Production and Knockabout Comics, and where I know these are weird names.
That's a funny
But
name.
he ended up finishing his other volumes of League of Extraordinary Gentlemen on those things. So it's just like, to me, he was starting to. In the beginning, he had legit reasons. And as his career was going on, it's like something's up with him.
Maybe he just lost the love of it.
Apparently so.
I'm just saying, maybe.
He didn't retire comics until somewhere in 2000s.
2005.
Late 2005 when he retired.
Yeah.
Didn't want to do no comic book, graphic novel, whatever you want to call it.
I mean, the guy's a genius. You can't
He
take
is.
that away from him. But in some circumstances, dude, you gotta move on.
Exactly.
Can't hold grudges forever, man. You gotta move on.
So this is the controversy with Alan Moore, and whether you like him or hate him, he's a genius. Yes. Whether he's crazy, it's debatable. And I compared him to Mark Millar, and not in a bad way. Hear me out. Mark Millar is a great writer of our time, hands down. And I didn't get much research on him, but I was thinking of him. And when he came to Marvel, in DC, and he did all those books, Civil War in particular was his best one, Ultimate X-Men, and all this other stuff. He did all this, and then he ended up doing his own book. Mm-hmm. But while he was at Marvel, everybody could remember this. He did an Icon book. Icon was separate from Marvel. Marvel, it's just like ABC. It was like something that Marvel wasn't going to touch. Let him create it, own it. It's still his, but it's going with Marvel's backing.
It was like it was like a branch of Marvel?
Yeah, it was branch, and it was called Kick-Ass. Yes, you seen the movie. If you read the book, there was 3 volumes plus a spinoff with Hit Girl.
That's Quicksilver?
It was Quicksilver was the actor.
Sorry.
So it was a good book. It was drawn by John Romita Jr., Marvel's own. And it was a great series, but again, we never saw crossover with Spider-Man after that, so you knew they were man to their words. They made a movie. It was a successful movie, part 1 and part 2. And then if you fast forward it to now, Kick-Ass is not part of Icon or Marvel. He brought it wherever he went. I think it's under Dark Horse. I'll have to do my research and get back to it, but it's not in Marvel anymore. And they did like the second limited series on Kick-Ass right now. It's actually one Kick-Ass is a female, which is pretty cool. But it's not part of Marvel. Mark Millar still owns the rights to that characters, and he's happy as giddy as what he's doing with it. Mm-hmm. Marvel was very happy to help him out and put him out, and the movies did fantastic. He was very proud of it. That's humbling. That's what a creator should be like when all his creative stuff is looked at as his pure genius. And Mark Millar was very, very happy, very humbling, and we'd love to hear when we hear from him and everything about it. And that's what creators should be like. And when Alan Moore did in the early 90s and 80s and all the way to 2000, the opposite. And he's a genius, too. So he should have been proud by Watchmen, by V for Vendetta, by Tom Strong, by Top 10, by League of Extraordinary. He should be proud of his work. The weak stuff, maybe people don't talk about it. Some people still do, because just because it's weak to you doesn't mean it's weak for another reader.
Correct.
So that's my opinion on that.
And even to piggyback off what Pedro said, in one of his interviews that he had, they were telling him, listen, Watchmen is like one of it's in the top whatever greatest of all time. And he's like, you know what? I don't consider it. He said, Alan Moore's like, I could think of thousands of other books that are better than my book. But that's just, how he sees things. But again, I think he's a couple sandwiches short of a picnic, in my opinion. But
without tomatoes.
Yeah. But, yeah. That's what we got.
So that's what
So
we got.
can move on.
All right, hang on 1 second, guys.
No problem.
All right, gentlemen. So we're coming up on the 4th segment, and I'm glad we're doing it now because we have a solid 20 minutes left in the show. So you guys can go at this for as long as you want. I know you guys are going to debate this. So segment 4's question is, do you want to see Alan Moore continue with comic books / graphic novels? Both of you take your stance and then debate it, but let you both speak your minds first. Tommy, I'm going to let you start this one.
Actually, I'm going to go first.
I'm passing the ball.
I'm going to pass it because
Catch the ball.
I'll make it really simple.
Go.
Do I want Alan Moore to
he's
continue
into it.
comic books or graphic novels, whichever one he wants to call, because he was ashamed calling it a comic book, and now he's ashamed to call it a graphic novel. If you would have asked me that question back in the 90s, I would have loved to see him come back. But he was still around, so that answers my question. It's the year 2024. No, I think his time is up. He retired in 2005 or 2008. Great, but for him to make a comeback if he comes through with a genius idea, no, your time has come. As much as you were influential in the comic world, I think the perception we have of you is a little bit skewed than what we thought when you were younger and when you were doing hits like this. So I could picture him, if he did make a comeback, he would cause more havoc. So, you know what? Quit while you're ahead. You are perceived as a genius in the comic industry. I would like to keep that perception of you that way. All the crazy stuff that we heard about over the years, I had to stop. I couldn't even want to read any futures about that.
Headache.
So no, it was not a headache. It was more like a disappointment because he was a genius how I perceived him. Now it's like, you know what? Let's retire it. You know, Alan Moore, let's keep you in the history book next to Stan Lee, Jack Kirby, and Neil Gaiman, and, you know, John Byrne and Chris Claremont. Let's just keep you in there and look at you as a genius that you always will be. But my answer to this day is a no.
Like, you just want to keep him frozen in time, basically?
Exactly. Because
like, he did
that's
his
the only
thing,
reason.
he did his thing, and that's it? Call it a
Exactly.
day?
Because I got a feeling if he came back and worked in DC or Marvel or even Image, he will do great, and then he will just cause trouble.
I just put in the chat to everyone, I said they're about to battle it out. So Redwood said, I'm getting popcorn. And he just said that Tommy looks like he's about to start cooking on this question.
Yes, look at him.
All right.
I'm in trouble.
Here's my opinion.
So I'm just going to make sure we got this.
Yeah.
You're going to put your stance out, and then you guys are going to debate. So let Tommy
we
get
can
his...
do that.
We'll
We can
debate
do
it.
that. Yeah.
I'll fight it.
If Alan Moore were to continue writing books, graphic novels, etc., it would be a treat for several reasons. New ideas and perspectives. Moore's work often challenges readers' assumptions, offers fresh insight into humans' conditionings. New stories from him will undoubtedly bring innovative ideas and perspectives to the medium. Continued evaluation of medium. Revisitation of beloved characters, for example, the Watchmen characters. I would love to see what he would do now with them, as opposed to what he did then. I'm just saying, my opinion, Pete. Collaborations and influences. Imagine him teaming up with some of the greatest artists that we have now. You know what I'm saying? With his mind, his frame of thought. I mean, this guy's on a whole nother level. I'm sure back then he was,
High as a kite.
maybe, I'm sure he was. But, I mean, his frame of thought is, like, again, on another plane. So it would be great to see him nowadays. Like, again, 2024, nowadays. Passing his knowledge and experience. As a veteran creator, Moore's continued involvement in comics could provide valuable guidance and mentorship to newer creators, helping shape the next generation of comic book storytellers. So, I mean, we all know, and I'm not sure if the audience knows, he has no interest to ever come back. He's done. He said, listen, I'm done. I'm washing my hands. I'm done. Me personally, I would love to see him grab a hold of Batman, do another Batman story. I would love to see him do, come over, do something with the Avengers. Come over, do something with something, robotic or some futuristic story. You know what I'm saying? Me personally, I would love to see Alan Moore come back. Because of the great stuff he did, I've always sit and ponder, what else could he have done or even, eventually create?
Well, I do have a question for you.
No question. Order in the court. Order in the court. You're out of order. He's out of order. This whole place is out of order. Okay.
My question, this is serious now. you're saying, you would like to see him come up with a fresh take on the characters that he hasn't done or updated.
Or did. Or
so let's say he
one.
decides to come back. He has an idea for a Watchmen crossover with the Avengers, which would be cool to see.
I even wrote a story about that.
But here's my problem with it.
And Justice League, too.
I could picture him doing it. It would be probably the #1 book ever that he ever did. He would probably make the artists, whoever he works with,
Make him shine.
Make him shine.
Yep.
And as soon as that series is over, he would start with the controversy. Oh, well, I don't want this in continuity. But if it's really good and they need to keep it in continuity, let it be in the continuity. It shows that he made a dent in the comic world. So he will make a big stink. He will make Marvel look bad. He will make the characters that he worked on bad. He will make the Avengers look bad. And, it's like he feels entitled to do that. It just would make him... It wouldn't look good in the comic business at all. So for me to say, okay, which weighs more? The controversy that he brings or the fact that he's a genius, he could bring more into the comic universe? I look at it as, no, it's not worth it. It's not. I can't.
It's worth it.
Why do you think it's worth it?
Pete, it's totally worth it. Listen, how are you going to sit there and say, oh, he's going to screw up this, screw up that? Dude didn't even write anything yet. How are you going to say? But listen.
But he has a track record.
You see his track record. Was it not good?
Yeah, he was.
Or
good.
is it not considered great?
It was considered the greatest.
So how are you going to say he's going to...
But just because he told stories that was the greatest...
Let me ask you this. What makes you think he's not home, already wrote these stories? And didn't even put them out or even published them or even showed anybody these? You know what I mean?
He probably
his hatred
does.
for comic books, maybe.
His hatred.
Maybe he sat back. Well, maybe one day he woke up, toked on some, some ganja.
It's got to be some strong
ganja for him to do this. Some bombastic air. Right. 1, 2, 3 people.
I wouldn't.
Maybe he's smoking on some weed and he says, you know what? Let me create this greatest Avenger story. Again, he can play with the what ifs in Marvel. Holy shit! Imagine what he can do if you gave him. You know what? Marvel calls him up and said, listen, we're gonna give you all the money in the world. We're going to do a contract where we're going to listen, it says here on this paper, you own everything. We're going to give you money. You own everything. Right. Write us a 12-issue what-if story. But imagine his fucking mind, his mindset, again, of what he created.
What he created
listen. No, hear me out.
I agree.
Of what he did, imagine what he could do.
He probably could take it to a whole new level. But the part
you're out of order.
But
it's my turn. You're not that.
But
is this on? No, you're wrong. Listen. For example, Elseworlds in DC. Imagine what he can do. Have him team up with fucking the likes of Alex Ross, for example, when he did with Mark Waid. What he did. Imagine the Elseworld stories that Alan Moore did. He could do with, say, the likes of Alex Ross. Right. Imagine him doing an Elseworld story. Amazing. Phenomenal. So why wouldn't I want him to come back? Again, this is my opinion. This is how I feel. I would like for him to come back.
Because I think that the parameters of him coming to create something, which would be fantastic, will help him. I know, but it's all about this. But this is also the source of his problem. Because they were offering him money to bring out Watchmen.
Did you hear what I said?
If
sequels. You give him a contract and he can sign it, where he owns everything that
but he also had contracts with Watchmen and all these other books that he did.
A totally different contract from those. I'm just saying.
Right.
Imagine if they did that and they called him and said, listen, dude, Marvel, we're a multi-billion company. Come over, do what here's your playground. Do with it what you will. Take all these characters and mold them into what you want. What ifs? Remember, P, you seen what ifs?
Yeah, what ifs? I think what ifs he would get away with it.
Stories,
right.
Fucking across the land, you got Thordius, the fucking first appearance of Jane Foster. You got the alien costume. What if the Avengers lost? Fucking Atlantis attacks with Marvel superheroes. Mm-hmm. All that. Imagine what Moore can do with that playground, dude. And then give him free.
You could probably do it. You're right. I'll give you credit on that. You're absolutely right.
But just imagine.
Are you conceding?
No, I'm not conceding. There's a part I think Tommy's not addressing. You're talking about. Go back to the track record. Go back to the track record.
Rewind it, P. He agreed.
I agree with you. What you're saying, what he could bring to the table, but here's the cost. His track record is telling because he's gonna complain about everything he does that isn't perfect, or he's gonna complain about the comic company that he's working for isn't wrong.
Good, bad, or fucking indifferent. It doesn't matter. This world's all fucked up. It doesn't matter.
But
listen, whether he comes out and says, "Oh, you guys are fucked up. I did all these books for you, and you guys are mad at me." Blah blah blah. My material, whatever.
Right.
But I'm just saying.
But
listen, for example, here's a great example. Stan fucking Lee, the Godfather of Marvel, right?
Right.
Jack Kirby-ness. He wrote for Steve Ditko, etc., etc. The list goes on. John Romita, etc.
right.
He went to DC, and he
In the
even
90s.
did a series called, what was it called, Pete?
It was called. Oh my god! I didn't follow him with that. I didn't follow when he went to DC. I was bitter on that. Sorry.
I think it was called Stanley's Image.
Stanley, Imagine
Stan Lee.
I'll confirm right now while you guys are talking.
Yeah.
It was called Imagine Stan Lee, and it had John
It was
Buscema.
It was his take of the
That
DC
was
characters.
Stan Lee's version of what he would
right.
do if he had this playground of Wonder Woman. Jim Lee actually did the Wonder Woman.
It was called Just Imagine.
Just Imagine. Yes. Thank you for that fact check.
Yep.
Professor Xavier. My boy. Yes, my boy.
Hold on. Put the camera on me.
Max, my boy.
Oh, shit.
So again, Stan Lee took the DC characters and did his will. Holy shit, it was different, a breath of fresh air. Again, if Moore got a hold of the Marvel characters, again, Moore, imagine Moore. You know what I'm saying? Hey, that has a nice fucking ring to it. I'm gonna copyright that. Well, Moore, hit me up.
But you're
I
still
got a lot of
missing.
ideas.
But you're still missing that one point. All right,
Again,
I'm gonna stick to what you said.
It does.
Stanley
It
goes to
doesn't
DC.
matter.
Stanley goes to DC, creates Just Imagine.
Do you know how
Not
much dough
trashing
he
it.
got for that?
But here's the difference between Stanley
that's
and
the Godfather
Moore.
of Marvel.
But here's Lee and Moore's
That's your
difference.
pops,
That's
no?
my pops, right?
That's your pops.
But what if he decides to do that? Goes to DC.
That's Poppy.
I'm trying to go back in time with you. He goes to DC.
No, you're stuck in.
He just imagined these books. Okay, it becomes success.
Imagine Moore.
Okay, it becomes more successful than what it is.
Imagine Moore.
And then Stanley starts trashing DC. Well, they pushed me down the stairs while I was working on Marvel. I broke a hip. They treated me like crap. They took my money and they ran away with it. They even used Spider-Man and one of the Superman.
Thank you, Stanley.
Wasn't this about Alan
I'm just
Moore?
saying.
How did we get here?
I'm trying to say, but it would be messed
Are
up.
they gonna push Alan Moore down?
No, no, but I'm just saying we don't.
You're talking to
If
the mic.
If Stanley says they pushed him down the stairs, obviously they pushed him down the stairs.
My name is Thomas.
But-
His name is the Fanboy.
But if Stanley did that, if he
Tell me
trashed
your
DC,
social media. Tell me your Twitter.
all I'm
your
trying to say,
Instagram.
all I'm trying to say is, if Stanley trashed
Hashtag Red
DC,
Pedro.
it would be wrong. It would be
Tomato.
wrong. But Stanley would be wrong if he did that, right?
See, wait, how are
No,
you
no.
not coming up with the best argument against that? Which is
understand.
Alan Moore hates the traditional American superhero
Oh,
comic.
we were gonna get to that
Okay,
next.
okay, listen. He hates DC. They never said nothing about Marvel.
He has,
Remember.
well, multiple times he's trashed the
He
Avengers.
trashed
as being
superhero
super-
genres in general.
Again, well, okay, you got me.
I finally got a win.
No,
Not
not
not you.
not you,
It's not
him.
Yeah,
Not you.
That was my next argument.
But what, let
He
me ask you
jumped
What
this.
took you so fucking long to make it then?
Let me ask you this.
No, this is
Let me ask you
trying to
this.
this
He
one.
didn't have beef with Marvel UK. What if
This
they
is
say-
true. You're
What if
right.
they go, hey, listen,
But
what?
that was early in his career.
No,
He was
no.
probably hungry.
Again, he didn't have beef with them. What if? Well, let me ask you this.
Right.
What if UK says, hey, Moore, you know the characters you did? How about you do something with those?
All right, so the question
Yeah.
would be for all of us to wonder
Why
is
wouldn't it- why wouldn't it
why,
work?
if he got burned by DC, did he take it on Marvel? Marvel didn't do anything to him.
No,
what
because
I'm-
Marvel didn't do nothing to him.
So
That's
he,
what I'm saying.
That's what I'm saying. He would come back if he.
No, I'm
if he
saying
chose to.
DC burned him. Marvel didn't do anything.
But he
Marvel-
had all this time to go back to Marvel.
No. He was
never
in
did.
Marvel UK. He wasn't in the.
Right.
He
didn't
wasn't in the 616.
Right. I'm
Yeah,
saying he
that's
never
fair.
tried
That's true.
jumping into the Marvel pool to do something. He just stayed flat
All
out
right, let
away
me ask
from
you
him.
this. The stuff he did, for example, Constantine and all that stuff.
Yes.
Imagine what he could do with fucking Doctor Doom.
I
Not Doctor Doom. I'm sorry. Doctor Strange.
But
Like,
even
and-
then, if he did a story about Doctor Doom,
Yeah.
that's exactly what he looks for. These darkened characters
Yeah,
that
that
are
he
ruined
can
by
do-
humanity.
yeah.
I agree with you where
Yeah.
if he came back and he touched Marvel stories and he would probably do one of his best work, hands down.
I win.
I'm not arguing this one. But you're asking me, hold on, if you remember the question, hold on, you want to, Do I want to see him come back and do it? I said no, and I told you why.
That's your own opinion.
Right, but one of the reasons why I wouldn't want to see that, because as much as it would blow up the whole comic industry...
It doesn't matter.
Hold on, even though he does...
It doesn't matter. You give the people what they want.
He would start...
It doesn't matter.
But then he would start bitching and moaning about what Marvel did wrong.
I gave you an example of Stan Lee.
Right.
I gave you an example.
And I countered that.
Again, the title would be... What was it?
Just imagine.
Imagine more.
Imagine more, and then more would trash their own book.
Listen, it doesn't matter. To see him come back, to see his new perspectives and shit, it'd be great. In my opinion, it'd be great.
I think it would be great.
I
think the headaches that Moore would bring to the company that he's working for...
It doesn't matter.
It just...
Give me a fucking fantastic Marvel story from Alan Moore, who created these past works. I mean, this is his signature shit. I mean, all his stuff that he did for DC, whether it be The Killing Joke, look what he did with that. That has stand the test of time so much. They even made an animated movie. They even made an animated movie.
And even though he hates this point,
yeah,
that is the definitive origin to the Joker, and it doesn't take away. He is still that monster under the bed Joker.
Till this very day, people, if you have any, for example, we're in a comic store, and someone's talking about Alan Moore, the first fucking thing I'm sure someone's going to say, hey, do you ever read Killing Joke? No? I think you need to read this.
Read this. Yeah. It's a
recommendation. It's not V for Vendetta or The Watchmen. It's Killing Joke.
Read Killing Joke. You know what? You're gonna like it because I really enjoyed it. You're gonna love it. And you know how many fucking prints they made of that book?
Yeah,
holy shit!
Too many. Just
they're still reprinting it.
They're still reprinting it.
And that art, Brian Baldwin. Hats off to you, man. That art was fantastic.
Artist was
again.
Awesome.
My
all three
opinion.
artists.
You're entitled to your opinion, even though you're wrong. Even though you lost your opinion.
I didn't think I lost. I think the rewind tape, he did concede on one part. I have to agree with that.
You were like,
you both have fair points.
Yeah, but I'm just saying.
But yeah, you know what?
Look at Stan Lee.
We'll tie it.
Look what he did with it. Just imagine. And that,
I
took
just,
that as his playground. And look what he did.
I think I'm just afraid that he will just, it's the controversy after. Like, he will be a pure genius, whatever book he touches.
It doesn't matter.
But then he will be like, well, because I made this happen with the Avengers, you can't use the Avengers alone. And then it will cause all this problems in the future.
I can care less, to be honest with you.
Because imagine...
To see him come out to write some new shit, I'd be happy.
All right, question for you. What did you think about the Doomsday sequel?
Doomsday Clock?
The Doomsday Clock, yes.
Phenomenal.
I agree with you.
When I tell you phenomenal, fucking phenomenal, they brought the...
I disagree with both of you.
No, I'm just saying.
All right, we'll get to you in a minute.
Here's my quick take. Phenomenal because to see them work with the DC characters was great. Yes. Because they opened the portal. Was it
to the DC universe?
Yeah, they brought everyone
Dr.
over.
Manhattan.
They got freaking. Was it the bad guy? The main bad guy from Watchmen. The guy. Remember he took out.
Ozymandias. Ozymandias. Yeah.
Him to see him go with was it Lex Luthor? Phenomenal.
It was phenomenal to see the interaction. Yes,
great. Just great.
Now let me follow up real quick. What did you think about the Watchmen series on HBO?
I thought it was
more accurate to the comics. Yeah, I'll say that.
I thought it was.
It was a
good.
continuation, right?
I thought it was good to see the children of the main characters from the Watchmen. I thought it was good.
Now,
again, it gave me more. It gave me
more wanting.
It gave me more of it. Now, and I was intrigued because I love the comic. I watched the movie, and then I'm like, "What's this?" I'll sit back and I binge watch the whole thing.
You need to know two things about both of those things.
Yeah.
One, Alan Moore did not write either.
No,
right?
I know.
We know that.
Yeah.
But here's number
who's
two.
The inspiration?
Alan Moore, I agree. But here's number two. Here's something you didn't know about. Did you know Alan Moore did not want any of that to happen?
Correct. Of course.
Okay. So and he blocked Watchmen to ever crossing over with DC for many years.
I know that.
It took almost 20 years for Doomsday Clock.
He didn't get paid. He got screwed.
Exactly. So he's very vindictive.
He's very bitter too.
Thank you.
And
so that's the part I'm afraid of in the comic book industry.
Holy shit! You make this go a full 360. Good for you, dude.
Yeah, I guess I was trying to get there.
Oh my god.
So the point I appreciate. Thank you.
That's off to you.
I guess that's what I'm worried about if he ever makes a comeback because
I won.
Marvel. No. I just say if he comes back and he does this.
Take a bite. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
All I'm saying is the things he could do against Marvel if he decided to do this will be just as claustrophobic as he did with Watchmen.
Doesn't matter. He would still give us a masterpiece. I'm sure he would pull out of his ass a masterpiece.
Go ahead.
All right, so we got a couple things now. We good with final thoughts? You guys are good?
I got the top 10 after whenever.
All right, perfect. So a couple things. So, number one, we have some stuff from Redwood. Redwood noticed your chain, Tommy. He really likes it. He was wondering if you can come up to camera 2, which is the camera in front of you, so that he could just see it.
Bling bling. It's a bad boy thing. Thank you, brother.
That's what badass.
Now the other thing was Redwood had also said he gave his opinions on it. He said, "Nah, Pedro definitely won this. Tommy had way more points, but Pedro's points hit better." So listen, I think it's up for interpretation.
Pedro lost.
It's interpretation.
Pedro L.
It was a W. He called it.
No, he's
He
not.
called it.
He's not the. He's
Who
not
was
the
it?
judge.
Who was it again?
It was Redwood.
Redwood.
He's not the
Represent,
judge. Yeah, after
represent.
you ripped your ass the whole.
He called me tomato every time you want.
You're rumor after he destroyed you the whole episode. Come on, dude.
Come on, no.
He also,
I took a W.
said that's a nice chain. He likes them a lot.
Put on your big boy pants, Pete. Come on.
Hey, he called it.
I
Thank
bought
you.
this years ago. You're talking 20 plus years ago.
That's the badass part of this look that we have.
Yeah.
And then you have the top 10. We're going to wrap up the show.
Let's
Yes.
do it.
Here we go. Pete could jump in whenever he wants.
You got it.
Number 10, Marvel Superheroes Secret Wars number 10. Battle Damage Suit with Mike Zeke and beautiful art.
Oh, yeah. Dr. Doom.
Of course, Secret Wars is coming. The Uncanny X-Men 251 with Logan on the cross. Thank you, Deadpool movie.
Deadpool Wolverine.
Holy
You know that
cow.
scene.
Number 8, ASM 129, 1974. First Punisher, first Jackal.
Amazing Spider-Man.
Number 7, a Marvel Superheroes presents number 10. It's a big square bound book from 1969. It has a beautiful Jack Kirby cover.
Oh,
Dr. Doom.
Dr. Doom.
Number 6, Hulk number 1. First appearance of Red Hulk on the cover.
Red Hulk. Captain America. Brave New World.
Number 5, Avengers 25. Doom. It says Enter Doom. Pause. Jack Kirby art versus the Avengers.
Oh.
Number 4, Fantastic Four, Annual number 2, 1964. Sick Jack Kirby Dr. Doom cover. Number 3, New Mutants 98, of course. First appearance
of Deadpool.
Of Deathstroke. I mean,
Deadpool.
Damn you, Rob Liefeld, Deadpool. Created by Fabian Nicieza, and that's it. He's the only creator.
He is.
Number 2, Hulk 341. Of course, the Blades, Tom McFarlane with the.
Oh, yeah, the reflection.
Has a
Think of
cameo in the
Deadpool
movie.
Wolverine.
Has a Hulk reflecting off of Wolverine's blades. Sick. Tom McFarlane. Number 1, Fantastic Four. Number 2, first appearance of Doctor Doom.
Tony Stark's going to be Dr. Doom. Be ready for that.
Beautiful
Or Robert
art.
Downey Jr.
Jack Kirby goodness.
Jack Kirby was a
right.
theme to your top 10.
We're good, guys?
Yeah, I'm good, man.
All right, cool. Hang on. This has been the 9th episode of Comic Convo Express. Just as a reminder, guys, if you do want to see Pedro and Tommy debate way more, we do have a lot of 30 minutes debates between the two of them on the After Hours show, which is our Patreon exclusive. You guys can get an extra 30 minutes of content a month by signing up at any of the tiers. You guys can sign up for as low as $4 a month. It helps us out a lot. There are higher tiers that will give you a lot more stuff. And we will be coming back for our final, our season finale on August 31st. So make sure you guys mark down the calendar on that. We will be returning for season 2 on October for the live stream. Keep an eye on our Pev Gamer Discord for that, guys. But yeah, this has been the Comic Convo Express. Guys, you want to say goodbye?
Yep.
Yeah.
Thank you guys so much for joining us. Like, follow, leave a comment, and we appreciate you guys for hanging out with us and have a conversation. Go ahead, Pete.
Because Comic Convo Express, we'll see you in 3 weeks. August 31st, the last episode of the season.
Thank you so much, guys,
We're
for
looking
joining
forward to
us.
seeing
God
you guys.
bless and be safe.
You know how much I sacrifice?